how do you do business to business, understanding, I guess?
So the first thing you've got to do, because you're still dealing with people in B2B. So the question is, what size of business are you going after? Are you going after enterprise? Are you going after mid-market? Or are you going after small business? There are benefits and cons to each one of those sectors. So let's unpack that a little bit. So at Iridius, we're exclusively focused on enterprise right now. And so the great thing that comes with enterprise is that they're big customers, which means the deals are big. And when you land them, they're typically very sticky because unless you really mess up, you've got that customer pretty much for life unless things change, right? So then it's about landing that initial beachhead and then developing that account where you start getting the expansion of your products and services throughout the account. Those are two different kinds of people. So you've got a hunter who has to go hunting for the opportunities. And then you've got the farmer who is nurturing the account so you can get the expansion, get into the next opportunity and really ensure that you're not churning the customer. When you go into but the problem is with the cons and all of that is it takes a long time to get that deal done. And for a startup, time is your enemy. Time is your enemy for most companies, but especially for a startup because you don't have revenue coming in the door. You've got a finite runway.
Yeah, short cash runway, right?
Is exactly right. So how do you augment that? How do you make it work? So there are tricks that you do to make that. So how do you get into an enterprise faster? There are ways that you can do that. You're finding the right, getting introduced. A hot introduction at the right level is key. If you are not dealing with people at the enterprise who are in the C-suite or own the budgets, you have a long, friction-filled road to revenue because now you're building up your coalition of support, which are the directors, the managers, the VPs, and then they've got to build the story up to their C-suite. And what do they know? When you talk to a CFO at a large pharma, they don't know who you are, right? And they just go like, how long has this company been in business? What are the risks in this? Why would I take a risk in this? You've got all of this work you have to do to ensure you land these customers. So the way you get to those customers is through your network, right? Using LinkedIn is great, and people at lower levels will eventually respond to you, but the C-suite's not going to give a darn, right? They don't care. Yeah. So you need somebody the C-suite knows to say, you need to meet Iridius, and here's why. And because they have that consultative relationship, not consulting, consultative relationship with that C-suite. It's like, okay, I'll take a look at this company, right? And they do. And then it's up to you to, now that you've had that introduction, that you earn their trust. The thing in B2B, that there's one word that sums it all up, it is trust, even in small business.
100%.
And then when you go to mid-market, it's not that difficult. It's still challenging, but it's not as difficult as enterprise. So a lot of startups, what they do is like, okay, we know we're going enterprise, but we're going to fill the coffers up with SMBs. But the problem when you do that is that you're missing your ICP, your ideal customer profile, because you've built your product, you've built your marketing engine, you've built your whole go-to-market strategy, towards that ICP. And the ICP in a mid-market company is different. And it's a different beast altogether. Yes, but you're getting the revenue in the door. Perfect. But you're still missing, if you've said to your VCs, your investors, we're going after enterprise, and what they see for the first 2 years are 90%, mid-market businesses and, a couple of percent enterprise. That's nice to them, but it doesn't nail the story home that they go like, well, I invested in this enterprise grade company. So it takes discipline and it takes relationships to break or hack your way through to the decision process. And that's what we do.